Hello guys, I'm 5 minutes early. Hi Z. I'm 5 minutes early because I wanted us to lay down some ground rules and also allow people to come in. So hi Rose, marking the register. So today's session is obviously different from the sessions that we've had. Hi Fifi, the sessions that we've had, we were having people telling us about their careers, right? No go and that other guy, Anel. But this particular session is not about anyone. It's about us having someone like Kagiso, like I said on my video, that he has wealth of knowledge when it comes to career advancement with or in terms of the current nursing curriculum. So he's not going to be telling us about himself. Maybe I'm gonna give him 5 minutes to tell us about himself so that we can be inspired a bit. Maybe he can tell us about his qualifications, right? I'll ask him to do that. But the reason he's here to answer our questions. So it's more about what you have in mind or what clarity you want concerning studying further or career advancement. So yeah, please do ask questions. I don't know if you guys prefer us writing the questions on the comment section, or you prefer you request to join and verbally ask him, talk to him, because I think we can have more than one person joining the live. So I don't know which one will work for you guys. You write your questions, hi Piwe, you write your questions and I read them for him, or you request and you ask him a question. I don't have any questions that I wanted to ask him. I didn't prepare any questions on my side. So I'm gonna let you guys take the stage in terms of questioning him. I don't know, is he here? Because I know that he is on campus right now, and then he said he's gonna be joining us from SMU. No, he's not here yet. I don't think he's here yet. Let's wait for him. Or should I text him? Let me text him. Hi Zimkona. Let's wait for him, guys. I don't think he's here. Otherwise, Ninjani Veterana, how was the long weekend? What are you guys up to? I'm sitting here in front of my laptop. It's right here. It's open. As we are waiting for Kagiso. I'm actually very anxious as I'm sitting here because I'm extremely anxious about a project that I'm working on. And guys, having big dreams is scary because you ask yourself to say, is this thing that I want to create going to materialize? That's number one. Are all these dreams that I have for myself, are they going to come to life? And if they are not gonna come to life, how am I going to handle all of that? I think my biggest problem, guys, I struggle from failure. I'm not someone that loves failing, or that takes failing easily. So if I do something, I give it my all so that I don't fail at it, so that I don't have to deal with the consequences of failing. So yeah, I'm working on a project, and it scares me and it makes me so anxious. It makes me. Any tips for interview at Path Care? Is that a laboratory institution? Hello, Sushi King. Kagiso is here. Let's invite him. Good evening, Tiri. Hi, Lava. Oh, hi, Mr.
Um,
Tukisi.
I was going to respond by saying hi, Lama, because I wanted to greet you first. But then, okay. Hi.
How are you?
Surviving under the circumstances and yourself.
I'm okay. Are you still on campus?
I am still on campus. I'm going through the most, but yeah.
Okay, so we've got 48 people here, right? And I actually asked people to say, would they prefer to talk to you directly, or they will write the questions on the comment section? Because I didn't write any questions, right? Because there's a lot that we honestly need to discuss. But I said to them, I'm gonna give you like 2 minutes to just like tell us about your nursing journey, particularly your qualifications, for inspirational purposes.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I am Kagiso Prince Tukisi. I have started nursing way back in 2007. First year in Mabatu Nursing College. This is where I did my 4 year diploma in nursing science, and then I completed in 2010. 2011, I did my community service back at home, Gralu Clinic, the most rural parts of the Northwest Province. That's where I was. And then upon completion of the community service, I think we were amongst the first groups of students of the concept candidates who did not have the post. So we were not absorbed by the Northwest, particularly the Moses Kotane sub-district. And I was now absorbed by the hospital. I went to JST. JST literally called me to come and work there. So I did not go for an interview or anything like that. I just went to JST and I was in the labor ward. So there was this lady who wanted me to work in the neonatal ICU, and you know me, when it comes to midwifery, I said, no, no, no. I am going to labor ward. I want a little bit of, I want action in my life. I want adrenaline rush. So I can't be in the, I can't be in the neonatal ICUs, but that's where I was. And then in 2013, that's when the journey began. I applied for my BK education and nursing administration at the Northwest University, which I completed in 2016. And in 2017, I was back in class again doing my master's in advanced midwifery and neonatal nursing science. This was the coursework that I did. So 2018, when I was supposed to be working as a specialist, then I got a job. I got so tired of working in the wards. There were a lot of issues that made me leave. I did not want to leave the hospital because I really loved clinical, so but there were a lot of issues. I'm not gonna talk about them now because I know that people are going to go to the person I was having issues with. But I have since forgave the person because the whatever was happening between us led me straight into academia, the field that I enjoy so much. So in 2018, I was at the Krisani Baragwana Facing College and I was lecturing. I was appointed actually as a BNS lecturer, meaning biological nursing sciences. And then I lectured there for like a month and I was already pestering my HOD. Ma'am, I have done my master's in advanced midwifery and then I have passed that cum laude. So there's no way I'm going to be productive in the context there BNS. May I please be taken to the midwifery side? And on the 1st of April, my birthday month, I was in the midwifery. And then I lectured there until 2020, and I joined Sefa Gomakatu Health Sciences University towards the end of 2020. Yes, I started here on the 1st of November. I should have started here in October. But I thought of my students and said, you know what, I have one block left with these students. So let me rather teach them. A 1 month salary is not going to make any difference, but I'm going to get the satisfaction that I have done, or I have lectured my students to completion and they are ready for the exams. And that's exactly what I did. So I am here at the Sefako Makgatho Health Sciences University. It's a big deal for me because I am navigating spaces within academia. I am not only lecturing midwifery and neonatal nursing science to the undergraduate students. Hopefully, next year I'm going to be teaching the postgrad as well, meaning the specialists. I am also the supervisor for the master's degree candidates in maternal and child nursing science field. I am, I am a PhD candidate at the University of Johannesburg Maternal and Child Nursing Science, and I am really hoping to complete. That is why I'm sitting here on campus trying to work on my research.
Sure. I don't think I can ever get enough of hearing you talk about your journey. I think I met you when I was still a student. I think you were doing your first year as a registered nurse, not as a ComServe, because I met you at JST. I've never worked with you. You worked with a lot of people that I went to school with. But I think having have had a front seat role to watch you becoming the person that you are now, that's all I can say. But Lava, today I want us to talk about a conversation that you and I often have offline, and that is the curriculums of nursing currently, particularly the new ones, and what it means for the old ones, right? I don't know, I'm trying to open up for questions. But the one question that comes from me, it concerns the R174 learners, right? Which is a question that everyone is asking, to say, why must everyone do midwifery when some of us are completely not passionate about midwifery? I always tell people that my midwifery bar, if one was able to sell these bars, I would sell my midwifery bar, because I'm just not passionate about midwifery. And I think that is the burning question here, particularly on this page, to say, Nazi, why are we requested to do the midwifery program? And I saw that you answered someone on Instagram, and I know that, I think on Facebook, and I know that you are the one person that is able to articulate why it is important. I want you to answer this from a perspective of knowing me. I'm someone that is in love with HIV, and I'm in the public health, and I will never leave the public health. I want you to answer that question, bearing in mind that there is a nurse like Zanele who does not even want to think about midwifery. Tell us why we should do midwifery, even if we want to specialize in public health or we want to specialize in HIV. Tell us why it is important for us to do midwifery.
Okay, well, thanks. People are obviously going to think that I am biased because of my undeniable and oozing love and passion for the midwifery and neonatal nursing science. But with regard to the midwifery being mandatory course you need to do before you do your specialization, this is mainly because of the competency issues. I'm going to try and be very brief about this and give some few examples as to what I'm saying right now. Why am I saying this? The pregnant woman, I keep emphasizing that a pregnant woman has got a distinct physiology that is very much different from the normal physiology. So we all need to get that, especially if you are going to become a specialist who's supposed to come into contact with a pregnant woman. And undeniably so, all of us in all of our respective specializations, there will be an instance where we are going to come across a pregnant woman. And I'm going to take primary health care as an example. You might not want to work in the MOU or in the antenatal clinics or anything that has got to do with midwifery, and you are just in the general side of things and you are seeing your patient. The very same patient who might be epileptic, let's just take epilepsy as as an example. A patient who is epileptic and already on anti-epileptics, and who is being seen by you, a person who is primary healthcare inclined or who is passionate about primary health care. This patient, as soon as they fall pregnant, on your side, you are supposed to understand that there will be physiological changes that are going to take place in this woman that are going to lead to you altering the treatment that they are in. I don't even want to talk about the congenital abnormalities associated with the anti-epileptic drugs. I'm just going to try and limit this to the physiology. So when you become pregnant, I hope not anytime soon. But when you become pregnant, there is an increase in your plasma or serum levels by close to 40%. And now this is the patient who has been on, say, Tegretol 200 milligrams or 400 milligrams or whatever strength the person has been in. But now, with this rapid increase in the serum levels, this would mean the drug that you are taking, or that you have been taking, effective as it was before your pregnancy, it might not be effective now because of those changes that are going to take place in your system. So there is definitely a need for us to alter the treatment, because if your treatment is not going to be effective, if it's not going to be effective, then you are going to start seeing you having a lot of epileptic fits, which were not the case previously. All right. Then let's just move to a specialty such as intensive care unit or critical care. Then one may ask, but I am in critical care. What does this have to do with me?
Yeah.
Honey, we are admitting our patients who have suffered from eclamptic fits or complicated cases of hypertension, pregnancy-related hypertension in your in your ICU. And then in order for you to manage that patient, you must really understand the pathophysiology related to pregnancy that led to this patient presenting with that complicated case of hypertension. Our way of treating this patient in the ICU, it would mean the blood pressure the condition has complicated and her life is in danger. So sometimes we might need to remove the source of hypertension, which is the very placenta and the fetus, meaning some of the inductions are supposed to be done. This patient is supposed to be planned for delivery. It might be normal vaginal delivery, or she might go to the to operating theater. You need your midwifery knowledge to cover you so that you can meet this patient needs.
I hear you. Would you say that this, like the basic midwifery, because it is what we used to call it, right? We used to call it the basic midwifery. Would you say it is also significant for like program managers, for people who are not necessarily in the clinical space, like myself, for instance? Would you say this is also significant for people who are like in policy development positions? Would you say that for nurses who are taking those routes, to say it's important for them to know the basic midwifery if they are going to be up there making changes or advocating for changes in various sectors?
Most definitely, most definitely, because if you are in an HIV space, we already have prevention of mother to child transmission program that you are supposed to be speaking highly of. So you cannot really separate a pregnant woman from the rest of them. When you are talking about the HIV guideline, you are supposed to also be keeping this pregnant woman in mind, that fetus in mind. How does this fetus get to be exposed to the HIV infection? So how do you get this treatment to really work? So you definitely need your midwifery information there. Even more so because you are going to be sitting in situations where you are supposed to really talk to others with regards to the guidelines, the policies, and everything. So you need your knowledge to be there. Otherwise, you are not going to be effective. You are not going to represent a pregnant woman who is taking priority in our context here in South Africa, because we really need to manage those.
Correct. I hear you so well. Another question that I have about R171. What is their NQF level?
The R171 is at NQF level 6,
So they have to.
making them to be nurse generalists. So they are general nurses.
Okay. So they have to do the 1 year advanced midwifery course, and that would put them on NQF level 7, right?
Yes,
And then they can do various specialities.
able.
We've spoken about this, you and I, offline. Some of the challenges that I don't want to say people should anticipate, but that might be there for people to access the midwifery speciality. And how do you think people should navigate themselves during that period? Let me say I am in R171 right now and I'm graduating next year. Ne? And then obviously I'm going to write the SANC board exams. I pass, I qualify, I go and work. What does it look like? What does the atmosphere look like or feels like for someone who just graduated with R171? And these people, they want to advance in their careers. What do you think they should anticipate, and how should they navigate themselves during that period? I'm asking this question because people are already frustrated by the fact that they have to go and study midwifery. People feel like midwifery it'll block, like basically people feel like it's delaying them. That's the word I wanted to use. People feel like midwifery is what's going to delay them. Like if they didn't have to do midwifery, they would easily get into their various specialities. So I want you to speak to someone who feels that way, who feels like I'm gonna be in the ground, in the workforce for so long, and I'm not gonna be able to further my studies. Like, how should people navigate themselves through that period?
Flava, I'm going to first acknowledge the fact that their concern is really valid. I am saying this because from where I'm sitting as an academic who is able to, see things or visualize what lies ahead, I am seeing a serious bottleneck and a serious delay that they are going to really suffer. They are going to be, and I'm not trying to spark a fight here. I am just trying to give people information about what is going to happen. So there is going to be a serious bottleneck and there is going to be delays experienced by the R17 candidates. Why is Kagiso saying so? If you can take a look at the scope of practice of the nurse generalist in the new scope of practice that was published, I think it was last year, the R2127, all of the activities or all of the nursing responsibilities pertaining to nursing care, they are similar for both the nurse generalist as well as the professional nurse. The only bottleneck or the only limitations that are there is the fact that the nurse generalist at this point cannot be appointed into the leadership roles. So this person is confined to bedside nursing, if we consider direct nursing patient care.
So we're
That's where
talking
yeah,
about they cannot become operational managers. Is that
they
what you're saying?
cannot become operational managers, because for as much as they've got expanded knowledge and skill as well as the scope of practice in terms of nursing care similar to the professional nurse, they are still supposed to work under the registered nurse. This is according to the scope of practice. And that is not the only thing that I am seeing. I'm seeing in the scope of practice. They are also not allowed to start their own private practice.
Sure.
So, meaning you will have to be employed by either private or the public health sector. But what is going to liberate you or to move from that role of the nurse generalist is when you finally get an opportunity to study your midwifery, which is going to put you at NQF level 7 and going to make way for you to access the postgraduate diploma or postgraduate specialization of your choice in NQF level 8. But then what is the problem here? The problem is the fact that once you complete your R171, you will have to be appointed into service. And when you get into service, then you do have responsibilities, you do have obligations as an employee. You are not going to be a free agent who can just decide to up and leave and then go and study your midwifery. What does this mean? It means you are now going to rely on your employer to grant you the study leave to go and study midwifery if you want to maintain your salary, if you still want to get paid. You will need a full-time study leave to go and study that.
Okay.
The
So,
question is here now, how many people are queuing for that study leave? How many people are going to be admitted into the qualification at the time? Zanel, I've got colleagues who were general nurses when I was a student nurse. They still haven't had an opportunity to go and study midwifery even today.
yeah,
I
true.
am sitting here. I'm just trying to paint a picture of how difficult it is to get the study leave. I am sitting here and I'm doing my PhD, and I am gratified to announce to people that I have never been granted the study leave.
Sure. You are doing your PhD now, right?
Yes,
From D4, and you've never been granted a study leave.
I have never.
Sure.
So it would mean we are not going to really get our people to specialize. People are not going to be able to specialize. This midwifery is going to be a stumbling block.
I wanted to ask this. At the moment, the midwifery is not offered anywhere else except for government institutions, right?
I think there are private institutions as well, but there are very few private institutions that are offering midwifery. People are really not into this midwifery thing.
Sure. So there is a possibility that if nurses were to start institutions and they register with SANG to offer the advanced midwifery, I think that would be some of the solutions that we might have, right? But the thing is, can midwifery be studied part-time?
No,
Sure. So one would actually have to resign from their government job to go and do midwifery at a private institution for 1 year.
yes.
If
If
they
they
do.
want, if they want to jump the queue, and yeah, you do not want to wait. You are in a hurry to get this midwifery because you can see it is delaying you. But how practical is that? We need the money.
True, that's true. We can't just leave our jobs and go study full time. That's impractical. I think the other question that I wanted to ask is, once an R171 graduate gets the midwifery, the advanced midwifery, does that make them an equal to someone who graduated at the university with R174?
Say that again.
Let me say I did the R171, right?
Mm,
And then I also do the midwifery, right?
yes,
Does that now makes me an equal with someone who did the R174 from the university? Does it make me an equal in the workplace, in the workplace, and also in terms of academic advancement?
it does.
Okay.
It does. It's just that it's just it does put. Let's just separate the two issues. In the workspace, according to the scope of practice, your scope of practice now is going to be similar to the one of a person who did R174, because at this point you can do everything that the R174 candidate can do, including as assumption of the leadership role. But in an academic space, an R174 candidate, because they are at NQF level 8, they can access the master's degree directly, because the master's degree is now at NQF level 9. But it is not going to be the case for a person who has studied R171, because they were at level 6. They have just done their midwifery now and they are at NQF level 7. They still need to go to 8, then 9 and 10. It's a little bit of a long rotation for them, but it is doable if we didn't have the stumbling block of this midwifery.
And I think with them, with R171, their route to masters is quite similar to us as R425 diploma, right? Because we also have to do the postgrad diploma before we can get into masters. Now, talking about masters, now that you've taken me to masters, I recently had a conversation with you because I got an inbox from Saudi Arabia. And the girl wanted to do a master's that comes with speciality. You'll correct me if I'm wrong. But your response was that even the master's is different from the master's that you did now, isn't it?
Yes.
Are all nursing masters different, like have been changed? Or is it just the one that you did?
Okay. Previously, we used to have two types of master's degrees.
Yeah.
We had a master's degree by full research, and we also had a master's degree by coursework, both the coursework and the minor dissertation or research component. And that's what I did. I started first with the clinical component of it, meaning I did sit down and write exams, start the clinical component of my advanced midwifery. And then as soon as I passed that, then I started with my research component. But Nursing Council has since discontinued that type of a master's degree. And then all of our specializations are postgraduate diplomas. So, meaning what is available right now is the master's by full research.
I think this is also what is happening in the public health sector, right? You remember when I was doing my own research for my own studies, I came to you to bounce this against you, and it seems like UP wants us to do the PG dip. They don't care if you've got a PG dip in something else somewhere, but they want the PG dip in public health before you can be admitted into their master's program.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. I don't know. I'm not really familiar with the public health content, but I know that there are specific modules that they want you to do before you can actually do the research component of it. So there is an element of coursework and the minor dissertation there.
Ntabi is asking a question that is relevant to what we're talking about. Shout out to my sister, guys. My sister never joins my lives. She's here now. Shout out to her. Ntabi is asking, she's saying, so doing a master's does not mean you are specialized, for example, psychiatry.
It is going to it will depend. It will depend. If you do have if you want to do your master's in psychiatric nursing, then it would mean you should have done the coursework thereof, meaning you are a postgraduate, you hold a postgraduate diploma in advanced psychiatric nursing, and then you are moving into it at the master's level. But for now, there is no way you can ever say you are a specialist in psychiatric nursing when you have just done the research component of it. Because for you to be called a specialist in our field, you will have done a clinical component. You need to hold a clinical qualification for you to be regarded as a specialist. So all of our master's degrees, most of our master's degrees right now are referred to as the Master of Nursing Science.
Okay. Guys, I'm gonna let you. I see people have joined the live. If you want to say something, please just open your mic so that you can be able to speak to us. I see. But the comment section. People are complaining about the South African Nursing Council. People feel like the council doesn't want us to progress in terms of career advancement. I just feel like, personally, that's what I think. I think the council doesn't look at things in a future eye. Like they don't prepare for the future. I don't think they do, because I was telling them, Kaki, to say, when we have this conversation often, we talk about things that would happen 10 years down the line. What's going to happen? What will the landscape of nursing look like? I don't think the council looks at such things to say, like, what will the landscape look like? Are we going to have 100 nurses in one institution waiting to go and specialize? It's really, it's too much, I'm telling you. Guys, I'm waiting for you to request and speak to us. Tatu ya Mudimo are, they didn't even plan the R171 course.
There will always be glitches because this is the first intake that they did, and then there are just a lot of issues. So obviously, with the second group that's going to complete, then they should be having their house in order with regards to that. We are in a trial run for all of these qualifications, and we are still trying to find our feet. So, mistakes are going to happen. We are going to learn from them, and we are going to better prepare.
Can I ask a question? I don't know if you'll be able to answer this one. Why were we not subjected to board exams? Why were we as R425 not subjected to board exams? Why are these guys now R171 writing board exams?
I think they are really trying to align us with other healthcare professionals, because I think we are one of the few healthcare professionals who have never been subjected to these board exams. And then they are also trying to align us they are trying to also get us to play in the international arena, because in the international arena, these types of exams are notorious there. So again, this is the issue of them testing our competencies. Are we really worth the title, the professional nurse or the nurse generalist?
Yay, kuningi. Yeah, it's truly a lot. I'm actually glad that I asked about these board exams, because it seems like a lot of people also didn't know what are these board exams and why they have to be written. But when you are saying that most healthcare workers are actually writing them, you are correct. And every time you want to go work abroad, you have to write a board exam. But it was here in South Africa. Yeah, Matsiriso is actually mentioning the one that is written in, I think it's in the UK and the US. It's only here in South Africa where nursing you didn't have to, like, there were no board exams. And they should increase the salary to not only bring board exams. True, I agree. I agree that the salary should also be.
It's a separate conversation, yes. But I agree with the salaries being increased.
Okay, guys, please, can we have you joining to ask Kagiso questions? Because I don't want, when he's gone and then I post a video about something else and then you come and you ask questions that you could have asked when he was here. So this is the first group that is going to write the board exams, right?
This is the first group.
Sure. So we don't even know what the board exams look like at the moment.
No, we don't. Yet another pilot study we need to do.
Sure. Hectic. I've got Goodwin Khego. Brian, hi. Are you guys going to have a conversation with us? I think I know Brian
Yes,
from
ma'am.
Facebook. I know Brian from Facebook. I think I know him from there. How are you, Brian?
I'm all good. Good evening, everyone. How is everyone?
We are great, thank
I'm
you.
great, thank you.
I'm fine. Mr. Tukis, I've got a question with regards to this, what is the specialty courses, right? They recently opened specialty courses. I hope I'm not off topic.
At all, you are not off topic at all. I did say that today we are going to talk about everything and anything that involves advancement in terms of studying.
All right. I would just like you to enlighten me with regards to this, right? So remember, there's been a delay in nurses specializing from, I think, 2019, 2020, if I'm not mistaken, whereas the SANG did not accredit institutions. They were phasing out legacy courses and all. So now they've recently opened a special, like, for example, UJ recently opened applications on the 1st of April. So most of us are applying. So obviously there's a backlog in this, right? A lot of us want to specialize. There are a lot of midwifery nurse specialists. There are a lot of primary health care specialists. There are a lot of critical and so forth. So what I would like to know now, remember, can you please take me through the process of this as someone who has that have went through this, who has studied a postgraduate program? For us who are not familiar, how does it work? What I know is that what I got from my manager is that you have to apply, then you have to write a letter to the managers to request permission to study for study leave or study leave. I think for us who work in the city of Joburg, there's this thing called subsidized education. So I don't know. I think it's there are two different things: study leave and subsidized education. Whereas the department grants you something like a bursary, if I'm not mistaken, for you to study. Then you also have to get a study leave. So in this case now, we are left with an option of saying we want to be granted a subsidized education or a study leave. Whereas with subsidized education, we know there's a long queue, there's a long list, obviously. So you can't wait for that. Then now you'll have to request for a study leave. Again, what I'd like to know is that how do universities accept, or what is the criteria? Because remember, most of us have the same qualification. It's not like in matric where you applied for nursing with your matric certificate. They would see that you qualify for the course using your APS. So now all of us have the R425 degree or diploma at the end. So we applied. All of us have we are professional nurses. So we are 50 applying for this midwifery or PhD program, which requires 25 people. How does it work? What is the criteria? Can you please take us through that if you know?
Okay, I'm going to start the first part of your question, which is why, or the process of this study leave situation. Why does it sound like it's a big deal now? Because we are going to do a clinical specialization. It is a big deal now. It is no longer as easy as it was for me, because with me, South African Nursing Council was not as strict as it is right now. With me, I applied at UJ, and then I was able to attend my classes at UJ and then do my clinical placement in my place of work. There were memorandum of agreements that were written, and I was able to do all of my clinicals at the hospital I was working in at the time.
Okay.
But now this is not going to work in the current qualification. So with me, then I was just on full time night shift. I took it upon myself to be on strict night shift, and I was on that night shift for like 5 years. Everybody who knows me knew that I was just working night shift because I wanted to do all of those. It is not going to work now with the current qualifications, because South African Nursing Council is very strict with regard to the clinical facilities that are affiliated with the university. So I'm not trying to speak for UJ here or anything like that, but I know that I've got friends who are studying at UJ at the moment who are doing their postgraduate diploma in midwifery. But what is the crisis? The person is staying at Rustenburg and she is working for Rustenburg. She's supposed to be attending the classes at UJ, but now the problem is UJ is affiliated to or has been accredited by the South African Nursing Council to place their students at Rahima Musa Mother and Child Hospital, meaning for all of your clinical requirements, they will have to be done at the Rahima Musa Mother and Child Hospital. So now your boss will have to know about this because there is a need for arrangements to be made here for you to access, to have an opportunity to go and study at UJ and still be able to do your clinical at an accredited clinical facility.
So basically, what we're saying is that as Zanele, who stays in Rustenburg, if I want to study further, I should apply for Northwest University. And hopefully, if I work at JST, hopefully JST is amongst the institutions that the South African Nursing Council has placed under the Northwest University.
We hope so. That's the only way it will ever work for you. But if Northwest University is not accredited for JST, then you will have to go to Mafikeng Provincial Hospital to go and do your clinical.
So that is why it is important to get a study leave so that
That
they
is
know
why
where
it is important to get your study leave, because you will need to be on clinical for some time and your leave days cannot suffice or will not suffice.
Yeah, that's
Hello guys.
Hi Katlaho, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. And you. I'm new in the group, ne?
Okay.
There's something that I just like to share. Regarding, remember, nursing council has to accredit certain nursing education institution, your colleges and your universities, right?
Yes.
So meaning that for each and every college, a college has to do something like I forgot the word. They have to choose their institutions like your hospitals and your clinics to nursing council to say, now this hospital can cater for how many students, ne? So meaning if a hospital or a clinic doesn't send proper information regarding their wards, their staffing and whatnot, then it means the institution won't be accredited. It doesn't necessarily mean that if you are in Northwest University, you're just going to go to Mafikeng Provincial. It means maybe perhaps JST was not accredited because it did not send requirements to the nursing council to say we are able to cater for such and such students. I think that's where the problem is right now. If maybe students in UJ, I think the problem is that other hospitals in Gauteng did not send their, it's called a situational analysis. They did not send their information to some to say we can cater for such and such students. Now UJ can send students to us. Hence, the institution ends up having lesser students because of such placements of students in different clinical institutions.
Katli, welcome to the group. If you don't mind me asking, where are you working?
I'm a lecturer. I'm a
Okay.
lecturer in the
No, you don't have to tell us where you are working. I'm just glad that you just stated that you are a lecturer, because it means I can even question you, right? So what you are saying to us is that the universities are not the ones that are responsible. Okay.
I would like to jump in there, please. Can I jump right in there?
Before you can jump in, please don't forget Brian's next second question. He wrote it on the comment section. After you respond to Katlaho, I will need you to go back to Brian's.
Kana, what did Brian say? Okay, let me just.
Okay, you can address Katlaho and then we'll go back to Brian.
Katleho, I partially agree with you with regards to that, but at this point in time, the hospital is not the one that is responsible for sending such or performing such situational analysis and the nursing education institution is the one that is responsible for identifying a possible healthcare facility that can cater or that can potentially cater for their students, and they will have to prove that that hospital or that clinic has got maximum opportunities, learning opportunities for their students. Therefore, the very same nursing education institution is the one that performs the situational analysis, and then that forms part of the application that they are sending to the South African Nursing Council. But of course, but of course, if the hospital, if during that situational analysis that was done by NEI and then incorrect information or inadequate information regarding the nature of the facility and all of the services that are rendered there are not really described explicitly on that situational analysis, I totally agree with you on that one. Then the South African Nursing Council can definitely reduce the numbers of students that can be placed at that institution at a time. That's how it goes.
So it means it's a 50-50. It's like a they also have to do their part. The institutions, the clinical institutions have to do their part, as well as the nursing education institution. We give them the forms. They must tell us what's going on, how many staff they have. Could we work together so that we can be able to achieve one goal, not just the nursing education institution or the hospitals and the clinics.
I've got a question. Who is responsible? Okay, Refilo, is that you?
Hi, yes, I've been waiting for too long and my network at Dumelang. Yo, sorry, Matun. It's just two quick questions.
Okay,
The first one is okay. Dumelang, to both Katlego le Mr. Tukis, do you guys know how long SANK will be open to allow us to specialize? Because that circular A, it sounded like we are given a limitation, a period every feeling to study or to specialize. And then the second one is, would you advise, since a backlog regarding the specialities, for us to do other things like management on the side or nursing education if we are not allowed to specialize advanced and PhD and all of that? Thank you.
Thank you, Fifi.
Katlego, would you like to respond to that?
I'm not sure about the first question. Are you saying that for you to do a bridging course for you to qualify for a postgraduate diploma or what?
No, I'm saying I can now. It's now I'm a R425 like legacy, So I get now we are told that we are able to study. So I'm thinking, do we have a time frame? Like has SANK giving us 5 years to specialize or are they gonna close it off, or it's just open until this whole piloting is done? That's what I mean.
Yeah, I understand what Fifi is saying. She's asking if SANK at some point will say, okay, sharp, we hope everyone who did R425 has specialized. If you haven't specialized, that's your baby. We gave you a time frame, you didn't specialize. That's what Fifi is asking. Do we have a time frame, or things are going to be this way? We will always have access to these postgraduate diplomas as R425 diplomas holders. That's the question she's asking. And she's also asking for an advice, that to say, would you guys as lecturers, would you recommend that, since the queue is so long, would you recommend that we do other courses such as what, Fifi?
Management, education, those non-clinical ones. In the meantime, while we're waiting to be accepted into, because I want to do advanced midwifery, and already it's a challenge, yeah.
Oh, I don't think there's a time. Like, Nursing Council hasn't given us any time, to be very honest.
Okay.
Because this thing is still ongoing and it's still being researched, you understand? So maybe they'll just tell us even next year that this is what's going to happen. And then with the new curriculum, I'm not really sure, but nursing education and nursing management, I think they're at Kagiso will help me, at NQF level 8, if I'm not mistaken. So if you have R425 diploma, that's your NQF level 6. So for now, you can't even do it because you need NQF level 7. I don't know.
Oh,
Am I right?
Mudim. Oh, yeah.
I would like to jump right in there, Zanele. I know you are getting there is no time frame with regards to the R425 because at this point you are a registered nurse and then all the associated rights and privileges that were bestowed upon you when you graduated are still going to carry you forever. So
Okay.
there is no time frame with that in that regard. But now for people who have done both, what's this? The bridging courses as well as not the bridging course. What am I trying to say here? The enrolled nursing as well as the enrolled nursing auxiliary, and then they do not meet the requirements for admission into the courses by their matric results. Because remember previously, accounting, everything, as long as you had an English as one of the languages, you were able to access the qualification. Meaning now you cannot even do your BK, your Bachelor of Nursing Science and Midwifery, or the R171. So you will have to be admitted into the qualification by RPL. That's where I read from the document that there is a grace period for those candidates, and then they are supposed to be admitted in numbers for the next, I think, 3 years, and they are supposed to form 50% of our classes for. Yeah, meaning that government should really start giving people study leave in order to maximize this opportunity. That's where it is.
So, Lava,
But
what you're
now,
saying is that the grace period that is written on that particular communique, it's for the people who are enrolled nurses or nurse, what is it? It's EN and ENAs. They can be
yeah,
admitted with RPL.
50% to form 50% of the class.
Okay.
So after
Someone,
that grace period,
yeah,
yeah,
you're actually,
after that grace period, we are returning back to the issue of just people with previous qualifications in RPL, but form 10% of the total class.
So now RPL, I mean ENAs and ENs, they can go to school in greater numbers for the
Yes,
next coming how many years?
I think it's is it 3 years or 5 years? I think, yeah, somewhere there.
So
I'm not sure about the number of years now. I can't really think
I'm trying
about
to
it.
emphasize that. I'm trying to emphasize this because someone did ask this particular question to say, as ENA, what must we do? So you're actually answering that particular person as well. And then the other question that Fifi asked, it's about, would you guys advise us as R425 diplomas to do qualifications such as nursing education and management? Do we qualify?
Yes, you do qualify because that circular that we read the other day cancelled all of that gap that existed between level NQF level 6 of the D4 and NQF level 8 of the Bachelor of Nursing Science degree, including the postgraduate diplomas. So as an R425 candidate, a diplomant, you are able to go straight into your nursing education or all of your postgraduate diplomas. So she was asking, is it advisable for me to do either the nursing education or the nursing management while I wait to be admitted into the clinical specialization, because she is seeing that this is a competitive admission. This is a competitive what? Yeah.
True.
We are competing for admission spots here. Even I still have to respond to Brian's question with regard to that. It's very
Yes, sir.
competitive at the it's very competitive at the moment. So while you wait, you can definitely do your nursing education or your nursing management. Why am I saying so? It is because in your first year of that very nursing education, you are going to do subjects such as the nursing dynamics, the research, the professional practices. So then you are going to move into your clinical specialization, meaning when you finally get an opportunity to do your postgraduate diploma in midwifery that you want so much because you want to become a clinical specialist, then there is no longer a need for you to go back and do both ethos of professional practice, the nursing dynamics, and the research component, because those are simply going to be accredited, and then you can have an opportunity to just add 1 year focusing strictly on your speciality. That's where we want to go. That's where we are going with the Council of Higher Education as well as the South African Nursing Council at the moment. Brian's question.
Refilwe is very grateful to you guys. You guys answered her question. Brian's question was about the criteria. Do you remember it?
I do remember it. What
Okay.
is the criteria, seeing that this is a very competitive admission that we have? We are all the registered nurses. Okay. It is going to vary university to university here. Strictly hypothetical, you want to study. I know some of the universities are doing this. Strictly hypothetical, you want to study midwifery and neonatal nursing science. I hope so, Brian. You could have for some of the universities, they will want you to have obtained a minimum of 65% average in all your midwifery modules. They are going to take a look at that.
Okay. Wow.
Ziakala.
And you know what's funny, guys? It's not even written on the criteria thingy, like on the website.
That's why we are so anxious. We are patient. We need to be allayed. Hey, I'm so very anxious. And I think all of us are very anxious because this is a competitive admission, as you said. All of us are not sure what's going on. We are wondering, okay, how are they? Well, I was talking to a colleague of mine the other day. We were wondering, okay, now they wanted academic transcripts. So we're wondering, okay, so now they
That's
want
exactly
to see
why they are
from
looking for it.
So they want to see from D4 or whatever the course that you did, how did it go about? Okay,
Sure.
were you passing your modules or whatever? So that's what we were wondering. Are they going to use those academic transcripts to make a pool of whatever they want? Maybe if they want 25 people, they will take the 25 people out of the average of whatever. That's what we were wondering. That's what we want to know. Because we are very anxious. I don't want to lie. Can you, as someone who has done a postgrad program, allay us and tell us maybe give us an idea of how it works? We are very stressed.
How this one works? It's exactly like that. Then they are going to, some are going to look at your average for the preceding qualification. What is the average there? Are you going beyond 65%? Then they are going to calculate all the average of all of those modules that you did. But some of the universities are going to just take a look at your midwifery, meaning your MNS 100 as well as your MNS 200, including theory practical thing. Then they are going to get an average stay. And then if you are not reaching 65%, then you are going to be excluded. That is the reason why the transcript is one of the things they are definitely going to request from you.
So, Mr. Tukisi, are you saying, sorry to disturb you, Nazi. So, Mr. Tukisi, are you saying, for example, let's say, I'm making an example, I want to do PHC. So, PHC obviously is a component, maybe it's related with community nursing, for example. So, you take a community nursing 100 and community nursing 200 and use those marks for me to gain admission. Is that what you're saying, in a way?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Guys, I'm laughing because people are crying on the comment section. Kagiso, you are stressing us with this 65%.
The same thing goes even for the masters. It goes.
Oh, so that's how it works. Now it makes sense.
Even for the masters, for your previous qualification, then you should have got 65% and above. For some of the universities vary. Some will say 60% and above and all of those things. But yeah, the criteria exist. There is a criteria.
Okay, so besides us waiting for approval letters from NSM, nursing service managers, that's stress on its own, really. So we also stressed by the criteria also. So let's say now it's a 50-50 chance. It's either now you gain admission to the university, now you are waiting for a letter. Maybe you might not get the letter, the approval, I mean. Or maybe you get approval, then you don't get admission. So that's where we're standing right now.
That's where we are.
And Brian, I gave an advice when all of this started, and I said that you need to apply to more than one institution, because you might have gotten your 65% in those modules, but there's someone who got 85, right? So they're going to go for the 85%.
It's a very competitive admission.
I got two questions here. Sorry, Katlina, I just want to answer two people here about the HIV program. Someone says, hey, Nessie, currently applied for the postgraduate in HIV. Can you do your master's with it? You can do your master's in HIV with it, not in nursing. This is not a nursing qualification. It's not a nursing course. So you can't specialize. Tato Yawane, please switch off your mic. You can't specialize in anything that is nursing related with the PG dip that I have in HIV. But you can do your master's in HIV with it. Over to you, Katli.
Oh, I wanted to ask regarding the transcription and the academic record. Like, I only have nursing education and master's. So I applied for nursing management with one of the universities in Gauteng. But funny part is that they didn't want my academic record, ne? And I was accepted for the course. So I'm asking myself because I'm hearing this for the first time, and when I applied, honestly speaking, I didn't send the academic record. I don't know. Can maybe try to what happened there?
It's interesting. I've never heard of anyone applying at a higher institution and never send an academic record.
I had to
The
go to
only
my
thing
I had to go to my weekend to fetch mine. That's how bad they wanted it.
the
So when
only thing
I don't know how fortunate you are.
the only thing I sent was my SANG receipt, those certificates, but not the transcript.
Which school is it?
No, it's fine.
No, people need to apply
It's
there.
one
Come
of the
on.
universities in Gauteng.
But people need to apply there. It's
It's
UJ.
UJ.
UJ. Those ones are always asking for transcript. That's interesting.
Maybe they were. I don't know.
UJ is always asking for transcripts. I don't know what happened to you.
Your ancestors are not sleeping.
Maybe I'm. Oh.
Your ancestors are definitely not sleeping. Tato Yamudimo, would you like to say something?
Oh, hi everybody.
Hi,
My name is
Huh?
Tato. Okay, I'm representing R171. So I would love to know, Mr. Kagiso did say that we won't be able to do management and leadership. Hence, but then we do have a module, or should I say, the third years are doing management throughout. So how does that work? Because they're already doing management. How are they going to do bedside nursing with that management?
So you're asking to say there is a module that you are doing in R171?
Yes.
And now you are wondering why bother do that module if you are not going to resume like duties of managers or be in positions of management.
Yes.
Okay, I think I have an idea, but I will leave this one to Kagiso. But I have an example of something that I did as an R425, but I will let Kagiso speak first, and then maybe I can speak later.
I was going there. I was going to R425 as well, but let me not go there and mention that the module that you are doing right now at an undergraduate level for both the R171 and R174 does not necessarily make you a manager. Those are the introductory module. It's an introduction to unit management because they know that having completed this course, you are supposed to be having a build up of things. You are still going to do your another qualification. You're still going to study. You are going to do your midwifery, and then you are going to do your postgraduate studies. You are going to do your management. So when you are doing your management studies, you shouldn't be hearing about some of the concepts for the first time. There should have been a build up. Similarly to the midwifery that you have done, Zanele, going back to the D4 or Jose, you know a lot about the cesareans. You were taught about cesarean section and how you are supposed to be. You know everything about the cesarean section, but that does not necessarily mean you are going to perform a cesarean section yourself. You're just going to be there taking care of a patient. You need all of that knowledge in order for you to be functional or to be able to respond to the needs of that patient who has done a cesarean section. I hope Tato Yauna gets this.
You know what? Oh, I do understand. I really understand and I appreciate the answer. But then, with our course, it's very frustrating. We don't have ComServe. We don't know what we are. We actually don't know what epilepsy are we going to get after this course. Like, everything's just frustrating. We even lost hope. We even lost courage to study, because what am I studying to be? We have the internals. After this course, the internals are going back to their workplaces. They'll be working as staff nurses still, but they went to school for 3 years. Like, it's just frustrating and devastating. Like, it's a lot going on in R171. Like, we are very anxious about our journey. It's just a lot.
Tato,
Yes, Z.
Tato, this is why we are here. We are here for you guys. You guys are not alone. I don't want you to be anxious. And I want you guys to know that people that you can go to, people that can ask questions, and people that can help allay this anxiety that you guys have. I think this life is a start of many other things that we will be able to provide for you guys. The one thing that is going to take away all this anxiety and uncertainty is availability of information and transparency, which is something that is truly lacking in the nursing space. There is no information accessible to us. There is no transparency. How often do we get to have a live Facebook with Sank, and Sank addresses us and speaks to us, and they don't just write us letters that are written in big Englishes that we don't even understand. So we are here, okay? We might have graduated with R425. We might have graduated with a different qualification from you guys, but you guys need to know that you are one of us. You are nurses, we are also nurses, and we are all in this together. So I want you guys, I get that you guys are very anxious about your qualification, but I want you guys to know that you are not alone, and we will walk all this journey together. We will answer the questions that you guys have, and if we cannot answer, we will go and research and talk to the people that can give us answers, and we will come back and alleviate the anxiety that you guys have. But I don't want you guys to feel like you guys are doomed, you guys are dead. No, you are not. Okay?
Thank you very much, Z. I appreciate the
I
words.
want to add, Tato, I want
Yes,
to add
Kagiso.
to what Z is saying right now. Do not feel despondent. Do not feel discouraged. The regulation R171 course is not a waste of time. It is a wonderful course. It is just that at the moment you are the first group, or you are one of the first few groups that are still going to experience challenges while we are trying to really set this one to be exactly what we want it to be. So it is a very nice course. There are also opportunities for growth. It's not like it's a standstill, but then the question that we are supposed to be asking ourselves at the moment, and I think all of us as nurses, academics, and whoever is responsible or whoever is involved within nursing space, the question we are supposed to be asking ourselves right now would be, how do we mitigate the situation right now? How do we ensure that the dream that people who designed the R171 course had in a reality? Because looking at it, you might be a nurse generalist and you might be answering to a person who has done the Bachelor of Nursing Science degree. But if you are looking at the level of clinical judgment you are applying in your care of the patient, and as I have said in the beginning, I said your level of care that you are going to render to patient is on the same level as the one a professional nurse, and that is why there is that easy access of you being able to study midwifery after this, you being able to study the postgraduate diploma after your advanced diploma in midwifery, and then being able to do your master's, and finally doing your PhD. So what we are trying to correct now is, how do we make this path easier for an R171 candidate to travel? And then I do have a suggestion that I have in mind right now about that happening. How about we fight for an R171 candidate to immediately do the diploma, the advanced diploma in midwifery from the college they are supposed to be graduating at or from, so that they do not
Perfect.
have to queue, for that study leave. Because if you are going to allow them into service, chances of them being drawn in from service into the midwifery studies are going to be slim. And we have already established that without midwifery, there is nothing that can be done. So I am here, I'm talking about that, and I'm bringing it into people's mind. Or how about we fight for that to happen?
And by fighting, guys, I
Yes.
don't mean we go and bend Sankne. Me and Kagiso were not those type of fighters. We are the ones that write emails and set up meetings and do presentations.
Okay, can you kindly do that for us? Because the sad part now is that the third levels, they're only left with 1 week and they're picking the stuff and going back home, which is a very sad part, without knowing what's the way forward.
I think I saw someone on the comment section. Guys, someone needs to teach me how to write the comment sections. People are so naughty on the comment section. And yeah, you guys are very naughty. But I saw someone on the comment section and was saying that in the 6 months that we're going to be at home, what must we do while we are waiting to write the board exams? I'd like to believe, Kahi, I don't know, because we don't know what the board exams are about, but I bet they are about everything that they did through the 3-year course, right? So the people are asking, how do we prepare? I mean, you can't just sit and say, I'm going to write an exam, but you're sitting. There's like, how do you best prepare yourself? Because there's the exam, right? If you fail it, it means you don't qualify to be a nurse. So you need to pass the exam for you to qualify. So how do people prepare themselves in these 6 months? What do people do? Do people go to their nearest clinic and ask to volunteer there so that they gain experience? Do people just sit at home and wait for the date? What must people do?
It's a very difficult one for me to respond to at the moment, because with me, I had an idea in mind of how this whole thing is supposed to unfold, and unfortunately, it is not happening that way. People are supposed to go and wait at home, but then my question is, why are we allowing students who are supposed to be writing the board exam that involves both the theoretical and the clinical teaching, or the clinical component, that they need to pass? They need to pass both the theory and the clinical component, because that's what the exam is about. So the students were going to benefit more if they were in clinical and they were very much in touch with the with the clinical side of things, because then they remain within the profession. They are still able to do the integration of theory and practice, because that's the only time as a person you'll be able to do that. You have just completed the course, and it does not necessarily mean all that theory is going to make sense to you if you are not in clinical. So you need to cement yourself in clinical first. So I thought it was going to be like that, or while they wait for their board exams, they are actually in clinical and they are being assisted in that manner to be able to integrate all of the theory, and then they are definitely going to pass. But now this is really a serious crisis. I don't know how to respond to this, but I know that what is happening right now is an injustice.
Yeah,
So if I'm going to stay at home, do you really?
true.
Can
I think,
can I share something with you guys?
yes, Kathleen.
Last time we had a visit, nursing council came to our institution. So they were telling us about who will qualify for the advanced diploma program. Ne? And they mentioned the R171, number one. Number two, all the general nurses who don't have midwifery. Ne?
R683.
Yes, but they must have worked in maternity for 6 months. Ne?
Okay.
But then I asked myself, if they are saying R171 do qualify, then it doesn't make sense for others to work in maternity for 6 months, whereas these other ones have no background of midwifery. I don't know.
I
It's just
hear you.
something. Hi.
I hear you. People Kagiso stressed about today, ne? Martin is worried. Are Madoda score is catching up. You remember in nursing school, some of us we were just saying, as long as I get 50. Now they are back at haunting us because 65% is required.
It's a lot.
But people are stressing. There's a lot about R171, and I think we really need to stand up as nurses. You know, if there's one thing when Kagiso that I learned from the whole saga R425, where we couldn't specialize. One thing I've realized is that at times the South African Nursing Council just wants us to say something and point out the issue, you know, and even though they can take forever, but they eventually do come and solve the problems. So if we are quiet as nurses, I think they tend to think that we are okay with what's going on and the experiences that we are having as nurses. So what you are saying that we need to fight, meaning we need to speak up, we need to go to SANC and say, hey, this is what we think, these are the challenges that we've identified, and this, as much as we are currently not yet experts, some of us, but you are an expert, but these are the recommendations that we think would work for the profession. I also used to think the South African Nursing Council people hate nurses and they hate nursing. But from the response that we got with the R425, I don't think they hate us. I don't know. I just feel like people are just not paying attention to details. Kagiso always says that this qualification that you guys are doing, it's such a beautiful qualification. And I also feel like it's a beautiful qualification because I didn't want to do psychiatry. I didn't want to, but I did it anyways. But with you guys, you get to decide what you want to specialize on. For me, personally, your qualification is a very beautiful qualification, but I just feel like implementation, but let's voice out. Let's have these conversations. If I come out on here and say, hey guys, we are writing a petition to SANC, can you please sign it? Please sign and circulate it. If I decide to go and approach my friends who are experts like Kagiso, and we decide to come up with something that needs your support, please guys, come forward and support us.
SANC does listen. They do listen, Shem. They do. They just want us to speak up.
Okay, Goodwin says, what are the chances of getting the South African Nursing Council to directly address us? This would, I think you wanted to say this would reduce the anxiety. For the South African Nursing Council to come and address us, we need to be the ones that are saying, hey, SANC, we think we need you to come and address us. I think that is something that can be done. But if we are not saying, hi, we need your help here, we need you to come and explain 1, 2, 3 to us, where can you meet us? We can, so in 2021, Kagiso and I, we made a Teams meeting, a Teams call. And you remember, Kagiso, we had professors joining in from various universities. And we made a Teams call. We just put we did a banner. Well, I'm a social media person, and then Kagiso is the brains and the expert in academia. So I just made a poster, and then I posted it on my social media platforms. It circulated. Professors joined us in that Teams meeting. So I'm sure even if Sank does not meet us like live, but we can have them in a Teams call, and they send a delegate to come and talk to us and take our questions. But if we don't invite Sank and say, hey, Sank, we need you here, we need you to come and explain 1, 2, 3 to us, they will not come.
There was a comment that disappeared I can't find it now, but the person was asking about what is it that enrolled nurse and an EN can enrolled nursing assistant and enrolled nurse can do to study. It sounded something like that in the comments, because I think we tend to forget about those two categories. So they wanted to know about what is it that they can study. I have already mentioned that for a person to study, to progress, if you are an EN or an enrolled nurse, for you to progress, you will need to either study this R171 or the R174 at the university. So it would mean if you are intending to go to the university, then you are going to have to leave your job and apply to the university to be admitted there. Or you can opt for being patient and applying for the study leave through your employer, so that you can be taken to the college in order to study for the 3-year diploma. But I have already mentioned that we were given a grace period for those candidates who do not meet the requirements by matric, because right now, in order for you to study that R171, you have seen how difficult it is to just get in there. The APS score is higher. They are very much specific with the subjects as well. But we know that in the group, in the pool of enrolled nurses as well as ENAs that we are having in our system, we do have people who are from even commercial subjects. Meaning, if we're only going to consider the matric subjects, then these people were not going to have an opportunity to advance. So this is also another thing that we need to do, nudge the employer to really release our ENAs and ENs in numbers, so that at the end of the grace period, at least the majority of the people who have been trained in R171, and then we will know that now we are reverting back to the 10% situation. Kana 10% would mean, if I'm going to take a province like ours, the Northwest province, if the Mabatu Nursing College, or this a campus now, is taking only 50 students for R171, it would mean for that part they have the province that is being supported by Mabatu Nursing College, they are only going to take 5 candidates.
Sure.
So yeah, that's what Rich, I'm going to mention him, that's what Rich was fighting for, and then he was really very much vehement about that one, where please let us take a look at the issue of the RPL. But that we were seen successful in that one. So then step number 2 would be to get the employer now also on board by allowing these candidates to be released. So candidates were going to be released to go there to study, but now R171 candidates are at home right now, meaning we are not really resolving the issue of shortage. So if shortage becomes our problem, or remains the problem now, it would mean people cannot even be released to go and study, because they will have to render nursing care. So, something like that, we need to look at those. I'm gonna, shed a tear right now, but I'm okay.
I see people are saying we need to make the petition. I'm offline. I'm going to be talking to Kagiso, and then I will come back to you guys. No pressure. Ngesixhosa kuthiwa indlovu ayiwiswa phansi ngexesha elinye. Like Rome wasn't built in one day. So we need to take proper steps, plan, and not just implement something and then when Sank is here in front of us, we don't know what to say to them. We need to prepare presentations, we need to send out invitations. So all of those logistics are things that we will have to do offline. And obviously when we are ready to hit the ground running, we will come back here and tell you guys that we are ready. Tebiso, you are here and you've been here for so long. And guys, can we please give us likes and gifts? I'm saying this because we cannot just send a rose. Hi, Tebi.
Hi guys, good evening. I hope everyone is good, ne?
Thank you.
We great, thanks.
Yeah, great. You sound yummy as well. I was a bit worried about that, the load shedding. So, I don't know if I'm off topic. I just wanna say, ne? So, I'm D4ness R425. Um, graduated in 2018. Yes, graduated in 2018. And then from there, ComServe was placed, Gui clinic, moved from a clinic, went to school health, felt like I wasn't growing Konalapo. And then applied at one of the municipalities. Then I've been working there from 2020. So now, from 2018, obviously I wasn't growing, Mina. I wasn't academically, that is, ne? I wasn't growing azange ngiyoyenza any postgrad. And then ngoba nalawo ma hindrances ukuthi we couldn't do it because singama R425. Then I applied for the, I think I inboxed you next Z after
Yeah,
when
you
I felt it, I was so frustrated.
You did.
I was so frustrated. So now, I felt the pressure. Okay, I'm looking at my timeline as a nurse to say I think I need to do something. And one of the advisors that I picked from your videos was that we shouldn't always force to go and study something because there's a hype of going to school, getting a postgrad and so forth, and then you end up signing up for something that you're not even passionate about or something that you haven't even looked into as to say, where am I going with this? Are there any jobs or is it something that is gonna work for me? Yeah, but so with me, I wanted to do a PhD. Let me tell you the reason why I wanted to do a PhD. It was because I'm placed at a clinic every day. You see, okay, I'm doing antenatal, but when you're done, you go and consult about to be acute needs.
Yeah.
And then now the popular one, a clinic obviously would be, oh, ban, we're on a PhD. Who doesn't have a PhD and so forth? But have I ever sat down with myself and asked myself, Guti, is that really the direction that I want to go into? I don't think so. I don't think so. I remember when I was doing it third year, I forgot the name of the lecturer, but kind of what were we talking about? Oh, she was telling us about her career journey and so forth. How did she decide to become a lecturer? Yeah, she was doing she has a specialty with renal, so she was just telling us about that. And then she said to us, um, as you are studying, just find an organ or a topic or something that you feel like I really, really love this, and then go and specialize in it once you're done. But when it came to me, I felt like I wasn't interested in specializing in psych. I wasn't interested in specializing in midwifery. Um, I don't see myself doing patient care say, at the hospital, but I've loved HIV for so long. But I don't think I've been exposed, as I'm saying, Guti, as I said, Guti, I'm in a clinic, so I haven't been exposed to friends or colleagues or people that have said, okay, I did 1, 2, 3, and then now I'm busy with HIV, and these are the courses that I did afterwards to say you can specialize and do 1, 2, 3, and these are the careers that are out there that HIV related. We have one,
Yeah.
and every now and then you will find clinical mentors from your vets, your ANOVA, and all of these companies that come to the clinic to come and see the clinician that will be there, placed there at the clinic to offer AMA services Lanka HIV related. And you will go and ask Guti, hey, can you please just advise me? What did you do after you completed your degree or your diploma in nursing? Which courses did you go for afterwards? And then umuntu will be like, just zimisele. Hey, uze ukuthi cha, Shem, I don't think you're getting me. I want you to tell me the specifics, Guti. This is 1, 2, 3 that I did, and this is what's gonna lead you go kai kai. Sharp. So Mina, the mistake that I made, I went to EVET, I applied for the bachelor in health nursing systems because I wanted to up my NQF level from 6 to 7, hoping Guti afterwards I was gonna get an opportunity to study further. Not reading the fine print because I told you Guti I was doing everything in panic to say R425 nurses are not longer able to study, only to find singelile ngaphakathi Guti I didn't research about whatever it is that I wanted to do. It was
So
gonna
you
take
said
3
you,
years,
what
but
is the
we
name
put
of
it.
the course that you did at Wits?
It's bachelor's in health nursing systems.
Because I actually wanted to, I've never seen it on the South African Nursing Council. I don't know. I wanted, guys, I'm not
Yes.
going to keep Kagiso here for such a long time. You guys know he's a PhD student. So I think he might probably want to leave us, and he's currently on campus. But before he can go, Kahi, I wanted you, because according to me, and I think I told Tepiso that the course that he's registered for at VETS
Not
currently,
registered with SANG.
it's not with the South African Nursing Council. I've never
Yes.
seen it. I don't know it. Do you perhaps have an
Yes.
idea about it, Kahi?
I have seen it on the VET's website, but I haven't seen it in the SANC website. And we have never had any communique from SANC with regard to it, but we just don't know how VET was going to navigate its way with SANC with regard to that. So yeah, I cannot intelligently respond to that one.
Because I think what she was trying to do, it was before they could tell us that we can specialize. She was trying to push or to bridge that gap of the NQF level. Tepi, are you going to ask the question that you asked me to say, should you continue with this degree or not?
No. After Nje sitting down with myself, I don't think it would be wise for me to continue with it. Number one, fees are expensive.
Yeah.
Number two, because now that after that communique came out to say that R425 nurses can study, you can go and do your PHC, your ICU, and whatever postgrad specialties. There's no need for me to breach that NQF level. So now the purpose of that course has just been written off. Plus, also, it's not registered with SANC, so it would still mean even after I've completed the degree, I'm still gonna be at NQF6 when it comes to applying for postgrads. So yeah, I've contacted them and I've requested to deregister. I won't be able to continue with the studies. So it's just an advice to somebody that is out there to say, guys, I know there's so much traffic, especially if ever you are at the clinic, at the hospital, everybody wants to go to school, you are in such a hurry. Take time to be sure about the things that you're going for. Don't
Correct.
be hyped up or don't feel that you are being left out. As much as I know, but it's very critical for everybody to advance and learn and don't just stay back and hope because you might want to pursue other things as a personal in your life. But take time to really be sure about what you want to do. Don't feel the pressure when Gucci there's so much traffic and then you end up enrolling for things that are not going to make sense, or don't do things that you see other people bazenza because those people know Gucci what's the reason why they are doing whatever. They already know Gucci this is how it's going to play out, or this is the end goal that I'm looking at. And then whereas you on the other hand you just want to go because people are going.
Correct. Thank you so much, Tepi, for that. Guys, I think I'm gonna let Kagiso go. There is Wandi, can you please request, because I don't know your question. You're saying, please don't forget the Uputi for advice for D4 holders who are interested in critical care. What advice do you want if you are interested in critical care? I know it's offered at UJ, but what advice would you like Kagiso to give you, my dear? Can you request and ask him that the question that you want to ask him? Because I want to let him go, guys. I know he hasn't said. Kagiso will never say, "Oh, I have to go." Like Kagiso is that professor, guys, who's always going to be accessible to us. He has time for everyone. There was recently an incident that happened on Facebook. I'm a very kind person. You guys know that, right? But sometimes I lose my temper. Someone came into comment sections of a status that we had posted, and that person was saying that we only, like when we were advocating for the R425 diplomas to advance, he said, you guys were being selfish. You only thought about yourself. You didn't think about R683. Myself and Rich Sitina, the president of Wainitu, we came for that person's neck. Kagiso came in and he was like, hi, please forgive these lions that are dealing with you right now, slide into my DMs. So Kagiso is that professor that we will always have access to. But I want to let him go now, guys, because we took 1 hour, 30 minutes of his time, 1 hour, 35 minutes of his time. Time is really precious on his side. So Wandi, please, if you are here, can you please request so that you can directly ask Kagiso the advice that you want. Literally, you are the last person. I can see there's someone called, I think it's Janina, an R1, Janina. I think you joined the live a little bit late, my darling, because we spoke quite a lot about R171. I think you joined us late when we had already stopped talking about it. But yeah, guys, I think I'm going to let KG go. Lava, last words?
Oh, I'm being let go.
Are you, wait, before I can let you go, are you okay? Because one, you are on campus, two, your PhD is showing you flames. And I know you would never say to me, oh, Zanele, I have to go. I know you would never, even if you had to go. So please tell us if you still have time, because I can see people still want you here.
Yeah, well, let me just put it until 10 o'clock. It's fine.
Thank you. Let me accept Wandi. Wandi?
Hi.
Hi, my darling.
Hi. Okay. Hi, everyone. Hi, colleagues. We will never want to let go of Kagisana because siyagoa sonke. Thank you so much, Budkahi, for this opportunity. Okay, I don't think I have a direct request, but I just need an anxiety lead because I never meet anyone no critical care. I like when I mention this cause, it's always how ungaga, do you think you can do it? And I just need someone who's gonna say to me, you know what? Mina, I know so they went through this route and they're also holding OT4 and I think I need strength or courage. I don't know, but I just need support.
Utheni abantu bebuzibungaka thetha uthini into ebungaka?
Sis, abantu. So yeah, Budkahi, I don't know what to call it, but support. There's no direct question, but I want to know this and this and that, because I do see the requirements on the, what you call the prospectuses, the colleges and things that offer.
Okay. Do you love critical nursing with everything in you?
Look here, when they were appointing me for ComServe, our NSM asked, where do you want to go? And I said, high care. But I had to leave high care because, you know that thing you mentioned where you have issues with someone and then you just like, you know what, for my mental health, let me exit because, I'm too young. So, I'm in labor ward now. I love it. I love the rush. I love the action, but it's not my first love. Yeah, it's not my first love.
And you sound very calm for a person who you are a perfect candidate to work in in such stressful situations.
Jay, I have
So,
no
yeah.
panic bone in my body. Always calm.
Yeah, so do you know what people said to me when I got entangled? I don't know if I can say that. When I got entangled or it actively involved in my midwifery and I was showing interest in midwifery, I'm soft spoken and all of those things. I'm very soft in it. I'm very soft. And
Yeah.
people were saying, when not really, are you going to be able to get the woman to cooperate and bring
Right.
an alive baby out in this world? You are too soft for that. That's what people said. You are too soft for that. You cannot do it. And I am here. The
I'm
very
in
same
labor ward
people.
1 year,
Yeah,
3
the
months
very
too,
same
and I do
people.
it.
The very same people are calling me the midwifery guru right now. The very same people who said I cannot do it. So it all depends on you. If this
Yeah.
is your first love, obviously it will come naturally to you. You don't have to overthink it.
Yeah.
It's just here because you are doing what you love. So I'm saying go for it and then exceed expectations and let them come back and honor you.
Do you know if there are private institutions that are offering right now? Because I did call Netcare and Life. They don't have it right now. Because at this point, the way I really want to get back into class, I'm willing to resign. This thing of requesting a letter from nursing service manager, no, it's fine, guys. Yes, I'm willing to resign and go back to the classroom.
But did you try UJ then? Because UJ is right there in the forefront. Obviously, it's going to be a very competitive entry there.
Hey, it's go. It's coming back to haunt us. Aibo, these people.
But give it a shot, guys. Don't just look at your transcript and write yourselves off. Give it a shot.
Okay.
They might
Okay.
not be looking at specific modules. Like I said, the criteria varies from university to university. Other universities might be very, very specific in their modules. Or for critical care, we are looking at this and this and that. Or another institution can say we are looking at the overall performance here this candidate from the preceding qualification, so we are going to count everything in their transcript and then we are hoping to get 65%. So do not be discouraged. Just hand in your application.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
You're
Andy. I
welcome.
always see you on the timeline. We shareholder Yale account now.
Whatever, yeah.
Guys, there's user who let me see. There's someone who asked about HIV management. I think it's the same person that asked initially. They are asking to say, can the PG dip in HIV management lead you to being an HIV researcher? Yes, it can, because you will do your masters in HIV. Thank you, Wiganyo, for the gifts. Guys, the live and send gifts. Yeah, 65% is guys, it has us by the throat. Hey, I was telling Kasia, there's a guy who we went with at Makone, at Mabatu College of Nursing, and now he's doing the PG dip in HIV management. And he was saying to me the other day, if Anga Tola fella 50%. And I said to him, don't aim for that 50%, because when you want to further your studies with the very same qualification that you are doing now, you're not going to qualify. You might have your degree at hand, but if you don't have the minimum requirement, which is the 65% average, you're not going to qualify. So guys, masiye again into yamadoda school, man. And we are intelligent nurses, Tina. We are not lazy nurses. We are intelligent. So let's do this.
Just a moment there. Yeah, just a moment there, Z. I'm seeing it hybrids of Mabupani. She's replying to he or she is replying to Mpokutu. Are here at GCon, they took 150 students for, I think this is for R171. Okay, let me respond to this. The accreditation of the number of students to be admitted into an institution are dependent on a lot of things. The spaces, meaning the availability of classes. Are you able to cater for so many students? How many lecturers do you have who can really teach these students? So at GCon, I think they started at 50 students. But why did they start at 50? It was because they still had, I was still there when they took the first students. So we were still running the midwifery courses. We were doing the general nursing courses. We were doing psychiatry and all others. So there were only few lecturers who were available to teach R171. That is why the number was low. Now the qualifications are phasing out, and the students, the final students who are there, are graduating, and more lecturers are becoming available to teach the R171. So that heralds a need for an increase in numbers. So those are just one of the other factors that contribute to increases and decrease in the number of students being taken at a time.
Zuzi, hi. Zuzi 48. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
We are fine. How are you?
I am
Thank you.
good. Yeah.
Do you have a question, maybe? Or a comment?
No, I don't. No, I don't have a question unless you want me to comment on something. But yeah, I'm just listening to what is happening here.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Guys, anyone who wants to say anything, let me go through the comments.
There is a question there. You is asking, are all postgraduate diplomas full-time? How does one respond to this one? Yes, they are full-time, but because they've got a part-time component, meaning they are full-time and they were supposed to run over a period of 1 year. But because of the part-time component within these, because of the part-time component within these qualifications, they are now running over the period of 4 years. You keep disappearing, Z.
I keep disappearing. I think it's because I'm trying to add Xolile. It's fine. I'll wait for you to be done.
Okay. I was responding to the question regarding the thingy, the postgraduate diploma being part-time or full-time. If they are part-time, it would mean they are going to run over a period of 1 year, meaning for the whole year you are engaged strictly on the studies related to your specialization, and that is going to be accessible to the people who are at the college, because then the Department of Health is going to do the most and grant people full-time study leave to go and study those. But we know that the university, the DOH has got a situation with the universities. It's a rare incident to see a person at the university on full-time study leave from the Department of Health. So for us in the universities, our programs are running over the 2-year period. So people are still able to go to work, and then they are only excused when it is time for the clinical attendance.
Okay, so that's why the programs now have been extended from being a 1-year program to being a 2-year program.
Yes, specifically for the universities.
Because I was actually wondering, I was asking myself that question to say, why are is it that the curriculum has changed? Like what happened? There's someone here called Xolile. They said that they wanted to join us, so I'm trying to they said they're trying to send an invitation and they are unable, but I can't find them on the list to send them an invite, so I don't know what to do. Xolile, are you still there? Okay. Guys, any professional development opportunities for R171 while waiting study leave? I don't know if I understand that question, Gahi. It says, any professional development opportunities for R171 while awaiting study leave?
We are not sure at the moment because there hasn't been any employment of the R171 candidate, both in the public and the private health sectors. So I think the public health sector is the one that is supposed to take a lead on this one.
And guys, I think I also wanted to say, with R171, it's actually, Kagiso, I'm echoing something that Kagiso said, that you guys are the first group, right? So at times, being the first, you become the sacrificial lamb, unfortunately. So a lot of things, we are going to see them through you guys. We're going to learn some things through you guys. Of course, we are still going to inquire some other things from the South African Nursing Council. But in terms of implementation and actually seeing the thing coming to life, we will have to see it through you guys. Okay. Kahi, I'm trying to add Xolile. I don't know. Let me see if I will be able to search. Is there a search button? I'm not really good with TikTok, Betunan. Let me go through and see if I will find you, because I don't know why can't I find you. Xolile wanted to ask a question, wanted to request to join, but and yes, baktending am for man. And he's still here. Let me follow you. Are you following me back? Perhaps this viewer does not have guest access. It says you don't have guest access. I'm trying to follow you and add you, but it says you don't have guest access. Maybe you can type your question. I'm so sorry. I love how Refilwe is responding. Everyone who did not get anything that Kagiso said. Hello, God's child.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you? You are another board member of this account, Wena. You're always here.
Yeah, I like your content. It gives me hope. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So I applied I remember when you started telling us that we must apply to universities because it's open, and I went to check all those at the website. They are sank all those universities that were accredited, and UJ was like top of the list, and I applied. So I have been working since ComServe. I'm 5 years post ComServe, working in PEDS ward and neonatal ward. So neonatal ICU. So I applied. I want to do PHC, but I don't have exposure. My problem is I'm working in the military. So it's not easy to just go to any like a clinic, or if you're stationed in a hospital, that's where you're gonna be. So I applied for PHC and education at UJ. Did I not get rejected because of Did I not get rejected because of the requirements? So I went back and checked all those requirements. I was like, oh no, let me just sit myself down. So I applied for UP. I called UP actually to check, and they told me that no, but they're not taking any intakes this year because SANC is not approving them. They're still waiting for approval. And I've been trying to get hold of TUT, but I can't. And when I go on their website to apply, I can't get any information with regard to neonatal. And I also wanted to do OHS, but it's a problem now because it's like they're waiting for accreditation from SANC. Yeah, and I also wanted to tell you that keep on reminding us here not to do the crying emojis because they're gonna block this live and we're not gonna get the information here.
Yeah, so sorry, I forgot the TikTok rules, guys. We don't cry on TikTok or broken hearts, ne? Even broken hearts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, please don't. You know, I'm going to talk about the experience thing, and then I'll hand over to Kache, right? I'm going to talk about the experience thing. It goes back to what Tepiso was saying, that now, personally, when I was still a student, you know what I used to do, right? I used to, like, obviously as a student, you are being placed in various departments. I was going to those departments and assessing which department I loved. And then when I finished nursing school, and it's something that I always tell Kafe over our monthly lunches, that when I finished nursing school, I knew that I don't want to work in the hospital. In my list of you know, as the bursary students, we were given a list to say, okay, you have 5 options. Write the options that you want to go to. So I wrote sub-districts because I knew I wanted to work in the clinics. And I had observed or assessed that from the time I was practicing for the 4 years. Even though I didn't know what is it that I wanted to specialize in terms of being in the clinics. But I was like, I don't want to see myself in the hospital setting because I've seen myself in that space. I don't want to be there. So I wrote the sub-districts. And when I got into the sub-districts, obviously there you don't have a choice or to say where do you get placed and where do you not get placed. And then when I get into the sub-district, I then looked at PHC and said, okay, PHC is very broad. Where exactly do I want to be? You know, PHC in the mother and child, it has everything, but where do I want to be? And then I found HIV. So it's very important to, from the word go, and I think now I'm not even talking to you, but I'm talking to the student nurses who are here. From the onset, you need to know where you want to be and where you want to function, and try and push yourself to go that direction. I'm saying try because I know that it is not up to us. Where do we get placed most of the times? That doesn't rely on us. But try to make sure that you are in the right environment, not only for today, but also for the future. Because these are the things that are catching up with us. I'm working in the hospital. I've been working in the hospital all this time, and now I feel like I want to study PhD. I've got a lot of people who are interested in HIV, and they DM me to say, Z, I'm interested in working in the NGOs, and they have zero experience in the NGOs. They've been in theater for the past 10 years. They were working in theater, and now they want to get into the NGO. They think they love this HIV thing. But they never, from the onset, they never positioned themselves in a way that would make them attractive to come into the HIV space. I also didn't know that I was going to fall in love with HIV, but I knew that, man, I'm not the type of nurse that would survive in the hospital setting. I want the primary healthcare setting. And then I identified what I wanted. I'm not interested in PhD, but I can qualify to go and study PhD because I have that experience because I directed myself to that direction. So this one, I think it's for the student nurses to be precise because Tina, like you, my friend, you're already in the military, and I think the military is more dominated by the hospitals, I don't know.
Yeah, it's 3 hospitals, and we do have sick bays. We do have a lot of clinics, but it's not easy to go there because they want more people in the hospital. So to go to work in a clinic or in a sick bay, it's a hassle for us.
From your nursing college, do you guys get to choose where you want to be placed? Like, for instance, maybe Bannikes are the options to say you've got 5 options, select where you want to.
They do, so you choose only from those 3 hospitals. You can't choose a clinic.
Okay.
Yeah, and then after that, that's when you can decide that, okay, I'm going to work in a clinic. I want to do PhD and work, because in the military they do offer PhD, but since SANC did their things, it has been quiet. We don't know what is going to happen for next day, if they're going to take us to school for PhD or anything like that. We will just hear from them.
So at the moment, you guys are unable to study with universities outside the military school because you don't have experience in PhD.
If you want to do PhD, yes, it's very hard. I tried, even went to the sick bays to get information, and maybe someone to write me a letter. And it was hectic because now it's written there that that person must be your mentor, the one who's going to be signing your book, your workbook. And it's hard. I can't go to an outside clinic, outside military clinic. I can't go to a government clinic to get help because I will not be practicing there. I have to practice within the military. Sure. Unless it's the military who have a contract with that clinic or that hospital. Like when we were doing our practicals as students, we were going to Jubilee Hospital, we'll go to Far East Hospital and Kalafong and all the other hospitals because our college had an agreement with those hospitals.
Kagi, do you have anything to say?
I do concur with you with regards to a student or a person knowing exactly what they need to, what they want in this nursing from the onset. It is of paramount importance even now, because if you are going to take a look at the requirements for admission into these postgraduate qualifications, they are also mentioning that in order for you to be admitted into this, you need to have spent at least 2 years in that field of specialization you want to pursue.
Is it all clinical specialties?
Yes, that's what I saw. That's what I read there. Yeah.
It's tough.
So a minimum of 2 years, meaning you do not have time to waste. Do not be at the clinic when you know that you are a critical care person.
Thank you.
Do not be in theater when you know very well that you are just a labor room person. Do not waste time there. Go and be where you are supposed to be and build up your career from there. Take it from me. People are surprised. I'm saying I only graduated in 2011, but I am here now, even doing academia. That's because I have always been very clear that it is midwifery that I want. And I was in midwifery in clinical and I specialized in that. Then I went to teach that and now I'm researching that. So you can just look at that thread. That's what you need to do.
I think I don't know, guys, and I'm saying guys because I'm talking to all of us who are here, and I think this is something that Kagiso and I also say. I appreciate Kagiso's relationship with his students. He knows I'm a huge fan of his relationship with his students, and some of them are here, even ex-students, because unfortunately my generation, we didn't have lecturers who sits us down and say, and like when after D4, what do you want? We didn't have lecturers. I think in first year, these are the things that they're supposed to be conversing to us about, to say, okay, you are about to embark on this nursing journey. Please note, you cannot be all over the entire whole nursing. It's highly impossible. You are not gonna grow. If you find yourself all over, you don't know what's your passion, you don't know what makes your heart have tachycardia. If you don't have that, you are not gonna grow, Mdase. You are not gonna grow, and you will resent nursing. I feel like at first year we should have been sat down and our lecturers tell us to say, guys, you're about to embark on this 4-year journey. Please understand that you need to see where you are fitting, where you will be able to light your little light in that corner. Unfortunately, we didn't have such lecturers. So at this particular moment, there are those type of lecturers because his students are like head over heels. Some of them were here calling him the midwifery guru, the only midwife in the country, and all of those things, because he guides his students. I was saying to him last Saturday when we met that sometimes when your students come, because his students, they come and converse with me on my DMs. I was saying to him, sometimes I tend to ask myself to say, do your students really love to be midwives, or you just made them fall in love with being midwives. But our training in our days, our lecturers didn't even care what we wanted to specialize in. If you were to talk to some of my lecturers now, they will be shocked that I'm an HIV specialist, that I'm passionate about HIV, because they never touched it. They were never interested in knowing where exactly do I want to go with my nursing career. We were only taught that you need to nurse the patient back to health. That's the only thing that we were taught. And nursing is above and beyond just nursing patients back to health. And in nursing school, it's where we need to find ourselves, to find an identity that speaks to us. Something that you're saying, I'm going to do this until I retire. So it's a midwifery guru. I'm an HIV specialist, and we are in these things because we love doing these things. That's why sometimes even on Saturdays we go and present in various conferences and all those things. So it's important as nurses, if you are here and you don't know what you want to specialize in, I know you are here, my friends, you are on my DM, sometimes you want me to pick a specialty for you. That's highly impossible. I can say go and do the HIV diploma and you will not love HIV. I can say go and do midwifery, but you won't excel the way Kagiso is excelling. He's excelling because he found himself in the profession. So it's very important. I think, I don't know, someone said that I was hyping everyone to go. I think it's Tepi, so I was hyping everyone to go and specialize. And in that hyping everyone, I was hyping the people that have identified themselves in the profession. If you are still confused and you are picking a specialty because specialties are available, pause, Ndase, because you're going to be wasting 40,000 rand of your life. And just pause, and ask yourself to say, where do I fit in this profession? I think that's my take. Identify yourself and find yourself in the profession before you can decide to specialize. Because it's going to be very pointless for you to have a specialty in theater and then also have a specialty in emergency, like trauma and emergency. As demanding as was in too. So we need to be very vigilant of that. People are saying,
Zanele, can I please come in?
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I think I wrote a comment about people from the hospital that they can still get an experience in HIV, and somebody responded that not really. So can I please introduce myself? Zanele knows me. I'm also an HIV specialist. I'm working for an NGO. I'm working in a training department. So I'm responsible for the training.
Wow, I'm honored.
Okay, Zanel. Okay, Z. So I'm responsible for the training on HIV and TB management in Ekurhuleni Health District. I saw that you didn't see me, and I'm happy that my photo is not really like showing who am I. I think some of the people, they might be knowing me here.
Yeah, people
so,
are recognizing you now.
Okay, all right. So I wanted to say that when it comes to HIV management, let me just briefly tell you about my history and everything. I was a hospital person, like you are saying that you might be having two specialists. I'm a specialist. I'm having two specialists. I worked in the hospital. I was in a trauma department, and then I was recommended by the doctors to go and do trauma and emergency. You are talking to a trauma and emergency specialist. I worked in the clinic. And then I was taken for PHC, so I am a PHC specialist. And then while working in the clinic, I was in all the other programs, but I gained more of the interest in the HIV management. So when HIV was introduced, especially for the facilities to start initiating and doing all those things, I was one of the people that was chosen and also did the mentoring part of it while I was still in the facilities. When the Pulsar Plus started, I was also one of the people that was doing the facility training. So by the grace of God, then I started working for one of the NGOs where I was the clinical mentor for the district. district. I worked as a clinical mentor. I worked as a clinical nurse advisor. Hence, now I'm a training manager for the district. So I want to say that people that are working from the hospital, please don't limit yourself, because you are limiting yourself to look on what is happening, looking on your diabetes, your hypertension. You have people that are being admitted, patients that are being admitted with HIV in the hospital. Please take a look on them, because we are having challenges when patients are being admitted in the hospitals. We all know that the doctors, they don't know anything. They are doing things the way they want to do. But if we can have the nurses that are there, that can be able to take care of those patients. There are, like here in Ekurhuleni, we have the clinics that are responsible for those patients. I can just give an example. They are being given names. You have Abo Mtonjeni, you have Abo Faranani. These are the clinics that you can be able to gain more of the information. And even in your medical wards, that's where you can be able to gain your experience. It doesn't mean that you have to be in the clinic. Even in the hospital, I have people that I'm mentoring in the hospital in the Far East and Pulusong, and I've also received some of other hospitals where we are doing the mentoring. So for you to be able to be a mentor, it doesn't need you to go and work for an NGO. You can be a mentor in the facility. The main thing that you have to do is make sure that you attend the NEMART. If they are delaying you, use the Knowledge Hub, the basic HIV management for professionals. Do all those modules there. Get your certificate. But the most important thing is that when you have your certificate, when you see the mentors coming in there, just talk to them. Can I please be mentored, so that you can be certified? The certification is the most important one, where you have to complete your POE. Your POE consists of 24 cases of adults and 30 cases of the peds. Then you will be a certified. It doesn't really mean what you are going to be a certified mentor, but you will be a certified clinician that is going to be a guru in one day for HIV. Thank you, Zanele.
Guys, I screamed like that because Usis Zuzile is practically my manager, basically. It's such an honor to have you here. You don't know what it means to me. You really don't know what. And I'm grateful for what you are saying, Sis Zuzile, because most of the times and I'm saying we because I'm part of those people. I'm always thinking HIV, there's no HIV experience in the hospitals. And now that you are saying it, that one needs to be intentional and actually attend to those HIV positive patients who are being admitted, that the doctors are not treating well, because really the doctors, they don't even follow our guidelines. And I think that is a very crucial advice to the people that wants to get into the HIV space, but they are working in the hospitals, because you don't have experience, but they actually do have the experience if they do decide to be intentional about taking care of the patients that they come in contact with. That is a very liberating advice for someone that wants to get into the HIV space. I truly appreciate you, Sister Zile. Thank you. You don't know what you did for me today. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you very much. So I see there's a question that here asking about those that have done their NEMART via Aqua, and then because there is no POE. As long as you have your NEMART certificate, then even if you have done with any private, can you please request when most of the district, they have the mentors that are coming in the facilities, please complete the POE, because what I've seen with the Aqua certificate, they will be coming saying certified. So what I want to clarify about the certification is being done by the regional training center, meaning that if we are here in Gauteng, the Gauteng province will be the one that is doing the certification. So what we do the POEs, and then the moment that we are done with them, we sit down with the regional regional training center, Gauteng Regional Training Center, and they go through the POEs, check if everything is being done. Some of the provinces, they do it in other way. Like in Northwest, I know that what they do immediately when the POEs are done, then they arrange for an OSCE where you are going to be doing a written exam and also do some practicals, doing the scenarios. And then after that, then they will be arranging a graduation that will be done in the province. And hence, even here in Ekurhuleni, the last one that we had that I'm proud to say I ran with it, although it was during the time of the COVID, but I was able to run with it. We did it virtually, and we graduated plus minus 200 nurses here in Ekurhuleni. So when if you are having an aqua certificate that said certified, you are not certified, my dear. We need one that is being signed in by the province, by the regional training center of the province. So each and every province is having a regional training center that they offer those the NMR certification certificates. Thank you.
And this would also apply to the likes of FPD, right?
Even if it's FPD, as long as because every POE must go to the regional training center. So the regional training centers, they really don't work directly with your private institution, like your FPD, like your Aqua. They work with the partners that are supporting the district. Like here, they are working with vets. In Northwest, they are working with ORAM, and then in COJ, they are working with ANOVA. So these are the people that will be having meetings with the regional training center and be responsible to make sure that the certification is happening.
Thank you, Susie.
Thank you.
Yo, guys, guys, I can't believe Susuzile is on my live. I can't believe it. Like, I'm honored, honestly speaking. I am honored. I am honored to have her here. And for her to share, like, this is someone that is in the senior management, guys, no, not management, senior management. So it's such an honor to have her here and have her share these things with us, because I'm asking myself to say, where would we have her share this if we didn't have this live? I am honestly grateful. Are we happy, guys? Kagiso, are you still here or you're about to leave? The live literally went for 2 hours, 16 minutes.
Fully conscious, alert, and well orientated in all spheres. I've been listening to, yeah.
Yo, guys, I'm very happy. My heart is so full. I don't know if there's anyone. There was someone who is in the UK, I'm sort of a little bit worried about that person. There's someone who is a nurse who is based in the UK, and they have a question. They tried to type, but they couldn't type. I don't know how are we going to find that person.
Can you name that so that you can add others? Thank you.
I don't think I know how to how do I remove it?
I don't know. I'm trying this side also. I'm failing.
Oh yeah, I can disconnect. There we go. But there is that person I couldn't add. I couldn't add that person. I couldn't add them, and they said they were gonna write on the comment section, but they did not. Someone says, I didn't know about the POE, laughing out loud. I always thought I was NIMART certified. A lot of people always think that, actually. A lot of people always think that. But I think if you are trained by institutions such as the ones that also Zuzile has been mentioning, like your Vetare Chai in the Northwest is Oram, you will know that you are not certified, not satisfied. You will know that you are not. But if you are trained with Aqua or FPD, they don't tell you guys that. Can we do this every day, weekly or monthly? Yeah, also Zuzile also needs to bring us her peers, guys. You guys must tell her to bring us her peers to come and advise us. Like, it soothes my heart so much when a nurse with wealth of knowledge. Because Tina, honestly speaking, we just qualified yesterday. And people like her qualified long time ago. They have wealth of experience and they have wealth of knowledge. So it always soothes my heart when someone like her avails themselves to us, comes down to our level, because I feel by her sitting, like literally she's been here since the live started, guys. And that's 2 hours of her time. She probably would be doing reports. But by her being here and sharing with us, to me, that's someone passing on the baton. I always hear like nurses complaining that the younger generation of nurses, we are rotten and stuff like that. And I always say, whose responsibility is it for one to pass the baton of greatness? Because what she just did now, she literally just passed on a baton of greatness. She empowered us, she equipped us. So I feel we need more people at her level, more people like her, to like come down to us and advise us and talk to us and shed the light for us, so that we don't have to go through some of the hardships that they went through to be where they are. So I'm very, very much grateful. That's why I screamed when I finally recognized who she was. Hi, boy, mom. You are also a board member of this account. You're always here.
Hi, everyone. I'm hoping that you can hear me. It's the first time ever on TikTok I go on a live. And it's all because of Usisi Zuzile to come in. Nami, I was shocked. I was like, hey, this voice, I know it. No matter who says what, a voice. And I wanted to look at the profile picture. I'm like, how? Kosiami, our mentor. No, I'm also like so honored that to have this platform. You know, like most of us joined the TikTok nje to push time, that's all. But now I've found myself knowing Guti Sundays, Wednesdays, where am I? What am I doing? I'm listening to this because it's teaching us as nurses a lot. And like the other time we were talking about the traffic, all of us wanting to go to either PHC or BK, or now we are stressed because Usank is saying this and that. And only to find that there is so much that we can still study without really having to do the typical, I'm in a clinic, I want PHC, I'm in PITS, what I want PITS specialty or whatnot. There's so much that we can study as nurses. I'm very much interested in the course that I think Kagiso, and I don't know if you also Z are doing it, the 1 year HIV, because that's where my love is. I've been doing CCMDT clinic for how long now? For some time. I've been doing chronic for some time, and that's where my life is. TB, HIV. That's my love. And now I realize, man, PHC was supposed to go. COVID came. I didn't go. Now there is this cost difference and what's not. I'm like, I'm 9 years a clinic. From ComServe, I've been a clinic. I never got to do a PHC. Maybe it's because I was not meant to do PHC. I was just meant to find this information, find this platform, and then push myself on my TB and HIV, which I love, which I enjoy, which I would do any day. You wake me up at night and ask me, where do you take his time? That's what I know. And all of that I learned from Ususuzile. Lucky me, from the daisy straight to money to where I'm working now. I was just lucky enough. She was still a mentor, and I learned a lot from this lady. And now I'm learning a lot from this platform. So really, really appreciate it. And also, I can see, okay, as much as maybe some of us don't understand so well the new curriculum, but I just want to say to the students, do not feel like, this is the end. I mean, before we came in, before ED4, the 1 year R425 came in, there was that one before, we see about one and what's not. We've got sisters who we worked with, who are still working with, who did that course. Nothing happened. That was before they knew the 3 bars. And then now they are going back. Maybe they are looking at the fact that specialize in what you want from the word go, or whichever. And Vele, unfortunately, they are the first students that we are going to see from, even when they come to work. We will learn from them. Oh, this is what you guys learned. This is what we will teach you. This is what you can do. If you get placed a clinic or a special or wherever, we will see as time go, but don't take it as if now you have done a course, a redundant thing, and next. It's not possible for a nurse. whether ENA, you EN, you sister or what, it's not possible for you to have done a course at some point. So at some point you will get a job and you will find your feet, and then you will find, oh, actually this is what I like, this is what I will go on with. Maybe 5 years later, when I don't know, there is a talker, not TikTok, you will be hosting it like Uzi, saying, you know what, I did this course after people who had done the fruit salad, and now this is what is going on. So just have hope that things are going to be fine. You did the course, you write exam, you pass, you will see as time goes, and then you find your feet wherever they place you. That's all. Otherwise, I'm not a person on my life. I just came in because I was like, wow.
Thank you so much, boy, ma'am. I see you all the times. I appreciate you highly, and I think you know that.
Yeah, a lot.
You defend me even when TikTok people are taking me about leaving my child in the Eastern Cape.
And those people, most of us have done that. Most of us nurses who are staying with our children are working 7 to 7, 7 nights and what's not. You end up leaving your child anyway. So, Jay, it happens. People must not judge what they don't know. They must rather learn, find out why, and then take it from there. But otherwise, yeah, love and peace.
Thank you so much. Kagiso, this one is for you. I got the guy from, or is it a lady? I don't know, from the UK. They are saying, is it worth it to do masters here in the UK without advanced midwifery, or should I just do advanced masters in midwifery? I think he's taking us back to the question that I had asked you, to say the masters that you are currently holding is different from the masters that is currently offered. It seems like in the UK they have both of them. So this person is asking to say, which masters should they go for? I hope I'm phrasing their questions correctly.
I have been looking at the question, is it worth it to do the masters here in the UK without advanced midwifery? I think I need more, I need a little bit more to work with here. Is this masters in advanced midwifery a coursework or a coursework plus research, or what is it?
Okay, we will wait for him to type. People are saying they want Zuzile to come back as a guest. Guys, don't worry. In our next training, I'm gonna force her to agree. But people would love to listen to Zuzile as a guest.
But to respond under G here, because I don't know,
no,
we are not sure.
They actually came back. They say in coursework plus research.
Let her do that one.
The coursework plus research.
Yes.
Which is what we have phased out here in South Africa, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But when she comes back, she's still going to be able to be registered as a specialist in advanced midwifery. So rather than doing just the masters in nursing, we don't know. I'm not sure if she wants to move into academia or she wants to remain in the clinical space, because that also affects decisions here.
What do you mean by that? If they want to move into academia, it means they can lecture advanced midwifery, right?
Yes. Rather than doing just the advanced midwifery.
Okay. Olile, are you happy? And when are you coming back to South Africa? We no longer want nurses leaving the country. We need nurses who are going to come and advocate and speak to SANC and when are you coming back? Uti, I want to remain in the clinic space but work as a specialist.
Then do that masters with advanced midwifery.
Okay. Okay, she's coming back after 5 years. Good. Refule, no, guys, we can't be leaving the country. Who's going to go to SANC? Nizothuma kubani kwa SANC xa nina nihamba ni leave the country? How? But guys, I think I'm going to close the live now. So I've never had a live that is this long since I started doing TikTok.
And I was actually warning Martin the other time, because he's the one who who called me to come and join TikTok as soon as possible that time. And I was saying, okay, I'm going to join in on this live, but let's hope it doesn't last for more than 4 hours, because that's how long our conversations usually last. So
Yeah, guys, Kagiso and I get in a restaurant at 11 a.m. in the morning, and then we will leave at 8 p.m. Where now even the manager now is wondering, why are we in the restaurant? People are even saying, don't go. Guys, no, we have to go.
I have to
We
go.
have to
I'm
go.
I'm having a class first thing tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I think I will be back here on Friday. Yes, I'll be back here on Friday. I'll tell you who am I bringing. Maybe it might be Zuzile Asazi. But yeah, guys, have a lovely evening. Thank you, Kahi. Last parting words to your nurses.
What do I say?
I don't know.
Guys, I love each one of you so much. And I hope and pray every day that we realize the power that we have as nurses within the health science space. I'm going to say health science space because we are everywhere. So never ever forget that.
Thank you, Lava. Sis Zuzile, can you please give us your last word to us as nurses?
Yo, Z, you're putting me on the spot now.
It's not me. People are the ones that are asking. People actually want you back for your own
Oh my,
2-hour session. I want
oh my.
regular.
Yeah, and now I'm preparing for the new guidelines. I hope you know, guys, that the new guidelines are out and they've already been signed, and we're going to be starting with the trainings. I think we're going to be starting with the trainings maybe a week after the other one, because we're going to be starting with the master trainings coming next week. So I just want to say, guys, don't push yourself. I was talking to one of my team members that is reporting to me, and then she's like, "Yo, Zuzile, I've taken time not studying and what." And I said, everything is in God's timing. Sometimes God will just make you not to do things at a certain time because He's restoring you for a certain time. And I said to that person, but you must be happy because even though you didn't continue with your studies, but you are a specialist in something. When they look at you as an HIV guru. When they phone you because they know that they are going to be getting answers. So you might feel yourself that you are not an academic person, but in a true sense, you are an academic person. So like Uzi has said with Kagiso, that just look for something that you love. Don't go for something that you don't like. Look at the programs. Look on what you are passionate about it. And then with the thing that you are passionate about it, make sure that you gain an experience. You cannot just like being in ICU and then you go and do PHC. You're going to be stressed. I want to tell you something. The time I went and do PHC, I was stressed in that course because I was already a trauma and emergency. I'm a rush person. And then now they are going to tell me that a head injury, I must not give morphine. In casualty, I give morphine because I don't want that person to have an increased intracranial pressure. I don't want that person to cone. And then I go to PHC, they tell me that I must not do that. It was really a conflict on my side. So just look for something that you are passionate about it. But what I can tell you, HIV is very nice. You nurse a patient from a wheelchair. Person is not walking up until to a person. You see a person waking up from a wheelchair. I never thought I would enjoy what I'm doing, but I really love the field of work where I am working. But I'm not calling everybody, but I would love to have more of the clinicians to have more knowledge on HIV management and TB so that we can have less of the infection rates. I see you guys. I salute you. Midwifery, I salute you. I salute each and every department that you are passionate about. And then Yeah, that's all that I'm gonna be saying. Thank you and good night. And I am humbled by your welcome here. Thank you.
Good night, Susie. I'm gonna send you a formal request to come and talk to us. We need you to have your own 2 hours, 30 minutes talking to us.
Okay, I will hear from you, Zanele.
Good night now.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Kathy.
Just before she acknowledged all the specialities, I was about to say recruiting candidates are we.
Everyone is recruiting for their own. Have a good night, guys. And thank you to everyone that joined. The live had a lot of people today. We're at 140 people that were here. But yeah, guys, good night, love, and peace. See you on Friday.